I'm now going to cover the properties panel for the TruTrade AutoRipper Pro Reloaded. So this is our most popular bot for newer traders and those using prop accounts that want to get funded. It's a very simple, straightforward, easy to use bot. It has just enough functionality to get the job done, but it's still not, it doesn't have the DT RAM, the DRAM of both entries. It doesn't have the account P&L. It doesn't have a lot of the higher end risk management features you're going to find on the Ripper X Black Edition and the ShopBot Pro. So again, this is an entry level offering. It's very effective for those with accounts, typically 30K or less, or those doing prop accounts. So that being said, let's get into it. So first field here we have is authentication. This is where your license key goes. Fairly self-explanatory. Next we have entry one quantity. That goes in here. So that's the number of contracts if you're doing futures, shares for stocks, and then obviously lot size for Forex. Entry two goes here. So entry one is the scalp. Entry two is the runner. This is basically true with all of the TruTrade products. Those of you that have used TruTrade stuff before, you're familiar with that already. So basically, you want to have the entry one quantity at double entry two. So the bot is what we call front loaded. So that means that the scalp entry one is going to get hit most of the time, right? Unless you're in a very tight consolidation, in which case the DRAM will kick in and that will protect you. But basically, you want to take at least 2/3 of the money off the table when target one is hit, and then the runner will basically go until the wrinkle bars reverse color. So again, if you've seen this on YouTube or seen any of our other content, you're familiar with that already. Okay, so entry one target ticks. This is basically the target for entry one. This is generally set to the equivalent of one bar size. So the standard on the NQ that we have here on the chart is 20. If you're using a 40 tick bar, entry one target ticks would be 40. You can manipulate this and run a tighter or wider target. But again, we've used the bots, we've dialed it in. This is what we feel to be optimal. But again, if you want to manipulate that as an end user, you can do whatever you want. Stop tick, same thing. Typically about 2.5 times the bar size where you put the initial stop. Again, you can run a tighter stop, although you may get stopped out on noise because this puts the stop below the previous swing low on longs or the previous swing high on shorts. So basically, you have to have a change of price action structure for the stop to actually be hit when it's at 2.5 times the bar size and using the standard 4-to-1 ratio on the wrinkle bars. So again, everything is engineered scientifically. It's all math-based trading. We know what we're doing over here, so we recommend that you follow the exact same settings. This is going to be in your members area in the PDF quick reference cheat sheet. It's going to be in there. So again, these are the recommended defaults for the NQ. Okay, next we have DRAM. So if this is on, basically the bot will add X number of contracts after a losing trade. And that doesn't matter whether it's a stop and reverse or the stop is actually hit and the additional contracts are added to the subsequent trade. It's a common misunderstanding. A lot of people think that DRAM is stop and reverse. DRAM is not stop and reverse. DRAM will work with or without stop and reverse. So let's say you want to trade only to the long side. If that's the case, then when a stop is hit, DRAM will kick in and basically add X contracts to the next long entry. Or if you're short only, same thing. But typically the bot is ran, and we'll get into this later when I talk about the custom chart trader, but typically if you're running the bot in both directions, the DRAM is ideal in that situation. So if you're long and doesn't before the stop or target is hit, it gets a short trigger, it will stop and reverse inside the OCO bracket, and then it will add X number of contracts, typically equivalent to the default quantity for entry one, to the next entry. So let's say, for example, you're long a 3 lot, 2 on entry one, 1 entry two, and then you get a short trigger inside of that OCO bracket. Now you're going to be short a 5 lot. So there'll be 4 contracts on entry one. I'll take a small loss, get that money right back instantly on the next trade with the DRAM. This all happens in about a split second, and this is the number of times the DRAM can engage consecutively. So let's say, for example, it happens 3 times. So entry one goes from 2 to 4 to 6, and then on the 4th time, if it were engaged that many times, which would be, that's only going to happen if you're running the bar size. It's way too small for the bot. Typically, you'll get a DRAM engaged once or maybe twice, on a typical moderate to high volatility environment. So this will just reset back to the default quantity once this is maxed out. Okay, next we have the max P&L filters. Again, this bot does not have account-based P&L. So this bot will only manage risk on the instrument that the bot's running on. So let's say, for example, you have this on the NQ, and you want to say if the bot's up, let's say 1,500, or the bot goes down 500, and these are realized P&L. So the trades must be closed for this to be counted. So let's say you're up 1,500, the bot will turn itself off. You don't have to be in front of the screen. This will all happen automatically. You're down 500 or whatever these numbers are in here. So you can have like a max drawdown, for example, with no max target. Or you can have a max target with no max drawdown, or neither. Just let the bot run, wild and do its thing without any restrictions in terms of P&L. Okay, next we have the P&L plot on the chart. This will basically, if enabled, show the P&L right down here. So basically display it on the charts. You don't have to pull up the accounts tab to see where you stand. Okay, next we have the time filters. Again, these are common with all of our bots. This basically allows you to run the bot passively without being in front of the computer. So all of the TruTrade products can be ran passively, are designed to be run passively, although we do have some users that like to sit in front of the chart and essentially discretionarily time the bot. That is okay too. It's whatever you want to do here. So you can do that if you want to. You can run the bot totally hands-free. You could be at work. You could be doing, running your business, whatever you're doing, and let the bot just do its thing. And so you can restrict it based on P&L. So if it goes up or down X, it will turn off. Or if the bot is only allowed to trade during certain time windows. Let's say your EST. And by the way, the timers on the bots use your local time on your PC, not the exchange time, not the time on your chart template, the time in the bottom right corner of your PC. So if you're Eastern, the cash open will be 9:30 to 10:30. And so this right here, if this is checked, the bot will start looking for trades at 9:30, and after 10:30, it will stop trading. So if it has an open position going into it closes the time window, that trade will wind out organically per the algorithm's rules, but it will not take any more trades outside of that window. So let's say you just want to attack the open, 9:30 to 10, just like that, you're doing it. So keep in mind, this is a 24-hour, military time. So if you wanted to run 10 a.m., it would be 10 or 10:00:00. So it's hour, minute, second. But if you're AM, a single-digit hour, there's no zero in front of it, so it's only 5 digits. So keep that in mind. So say, for example, you wanted to run from 2 to 4 p.m., or let's say 2:30 to 4. So you'd have 14:30:00, right, for 2:30, and then for 4 p.m. would just be 1600. So 16:00:00. So again, we have it very granular all the way down to the seconds. Most people are not going to use that, but you can if you want to. Okay, next we have the background color settings. So this is very popular, again, for those that want to discretionarily engage the bot. If you're the kind of trader that wants to sit in front of the screen, wait for a breakout, turn the bot on, take some quick cash and turn it off, you're going to absolutely love these indicators. So the trend color basically tells you who's in control, bulls or bears. If the bulls are up, then you're going to have the default white background, and you'll have the dark orchid if the momentum is to the downside. This tells you what side to trade on, basically. And again, the bot's not using these internally. They're just visual aids for those that want to discretionarily use the bot. Remember, this is our entry-level product, so a lot of people that use this bot, they will time the bot based on their opinion of the market, take some quick cash and turn it off. Most people that use the Ripper X or the Shot bot or the higher tiered bots are running multiple instruments. They're using account-based P&L, and they're not sitting in front of the computer timing it. Now again, the AutoRipper can be used completely passively. We use it passively in the office, so you can do the same thing. But a lot of people like to manually play with this bot because it's for aimed at smaller accounts. So smaller account traders typically trade one thing at a time, whereas people that have $6-figure, $250,000 plus accounts or 7 figures, they're going to trade 3 to 6 or half a dozen or more instruments simultaneously using multiple bots, multiple systems, and they're going to manage risk on an account-wide scale with the account-based risk management, which this bot doesn't have. Okay, so basically, so if these are on, this tells you who's in control, and then the trend lines will tell you what the current prevailing trend is on both the long and downside by basically connecting swing highs and lows. So this gives you a very quick, instant, view of who's in control. So if the background's white and the price is above the downtrend line, so that the bear trend's been breached, that's an easy, quick entry for a high probability shot. Same thing with the downside, right? If the background is purple and the price is below the white trend line and below the purple trend line, that first trade at that point is easy money. It's a very accurate shot. Again, especially with DRAMs on, because if the breakout is successful, the trade's going to be a big winner. If the breakout fails and falls back into the range, the DRAM will protect you because we'll just add contracts, take a small loss, and get that money right back as it crashes back into the range. So that's a very high probability shot. We do have other videos in the post sale. So once you purchase the product, you get access to a members area. And that's going to be dozens. It depends on what you buy, but we have dozens of training videos Typically, there's between an hour to several hours of content for each one of the bots, again, depending on which bot you buy and how complex it is, or how much training is actually needed. But anyways, so it's going to cover that. It's going to talk about how to use these indicators to take very high probability shots if you want to discretionarily engage the bot. Because like I said before, the bot will run totally fine. You can put the max P&L in there, set the time window, and just turn it loose and let it do its thing. You don't have to be anywhere near the computer. Okay, so next we have the input series. Again, this is just going to default to whatever instrument you have on the chart. And then we have the account the bot's running on. You can run on a SIM, you can run on a real money account, you can run on a prop account, whatever you want to do there. And like I said before in other videos, anything below the count tab, calculate and lower, don't touch any of this stuff. Don't mess with start behavior. Don't mess with calculate setting. Don't mess with the look back or bars required to trade. All of these are set by the developer to be optimal for the product. So again, just leave those alone. Okay, so in the next part of the video, we're going to cover the custom chart trader. And then after that, we're going to talk about, basically show you some fills from the session and talk about how the bot works and what you can expect to make using it on a typical trading day. Okay, so I'm now going to cover the custom chart trader for the TruTrade AutoRipper Pro Reloaded. So this bot has 6 buttons, as you'll see here on the right. So to make sure, or to view the custom chart trader, you actually have to have the chart trader enabled. So if you don't have it enabled, go to the top of your chart window in any Ninja. This little icon right here is kind of like a ruler. That can turn the chart trader on or off. So make sure that's on so you can actually see these buttons. Okay, so once this is on, click the on-off button. So once the strategy is enabled and the chart trader is on, you will see these buttons. Now, it also has an additional safeguard, essentially a secondary on-off switch, which acts like a pause button. So if this is on, the bot will take trades per your settings. If this is off, the bot will not take trades, even though the strategy is enabled on NinjaTrader. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so next we have the flat button. This is, again, self-explanatory. This will exit any position put on by the bot. Not by, if you put on some manual trade, it's not going to work for that, as this will exit any trade that the bot put on. Let's say you're in a trade and you're up $3,000 and you think it's going to reverse and you don't want to wait for the bot to exit naturally. You just want to take the money and run. Hit the flat button will do exactly that. And this will not have any effect on subsequent trades. So just exit the current trade. It will not interrupt the bot's future trades in any way. Okay, next we have the directional toggle switch. So again, typically this bot is ran, and again, this applies to all of our bots in general, because if you have the bot set to just, for example, long only or short only, and you get a big reversal or a big swing in one direction and you miss that because you had it set to one side or the other. So typically markets are difficult to predict. So we're not in the prediction business, we're in the reactionary business, right? What these bots do is basically they take data, they make a decision based on which direction the market's going to be going, and then it will take the high probability shot. If that doesn't work, they will stop and reverse, go the other way, and do that in about milliseconds, about a quarter second, and get that money right back and get into profit on the next trade. So if you have a bot set to only fire long or short, and you're only trading one thing at a time, that's kind of ill-advised. We don't recommend doing that. But let's say you're trading 3 different bots and you have like one on the ES, one on the NQ, one on oil, or one on Bitcoin, something like that. You're trading different asset types like stocks, forex, futures, all at the same time, and you want to use one bot as a hedge. In that situation, having short only or long only is completely fine. You're just looking to catch like one swing in one direction on the open. You can do that. But typically, if you're going to run the bot, you want to have DRAM on. So it'll do a stop and reverse with the addition of adding contracts, and you want to have both on there. The bot will not stop and reverse if both is not set. So again, DRAM on to the correct settings, correct bar sizes, on with both as a setting on full auto, which is the next button. Typically is how you want to run the bot. But again, there are certain situations where you want to run different configurations, and we're going to talk about those again in the members area. Once you buy the bot, you get access to up to several hours of training videos, installation setup videos, how and when to use the bot, general best practices, what each of the modes does, a very, very in-depth explanation, even more so than you see here. Okay, so next we have the auto mode selector. So A is auto, M is manual. This bot, along with the Ripper X Black Edition, also have the ability to enter trades manually. So let's say, for example, you think the market's going to go up, but the bot's not currently in a trade, and you want to have it enter a trade. So you can turn the bot to manual mode, hit the long button. It will enter this, the double entry or single entry, whatever you have configured as your entry settings in the properties panel. It will fire that shot immediately on demand. So you can go long and it will have the break even plus X stops and it will exit, it will unwind the trade like it would unwind a normal trade with the bot. But you can time the entry and you can stop and reverse that by going from long to short, etc. So, and when you switch out of manual mode, when the bot's in manual mode with the M, it's not going to trade its normal trades. It's going to wait for you to engage. But if you're in a trade and you're in manual and you switch back to auto, it's going to dump that position immediately and switch back to hunting for its own trades. So keep that in mind. So again, that covers basically everything on the chart trader panel. You can see that this bot is very versatile. It's quite simple to use, but also very multifaceted. You can run it fully auto, discretionary auto. You can do manual entry with auto exit. You can control exit with a flat button. It's a very versatile, very powerful tool. This bot is primarily aimed at newer or smaller traders. Although you can still use it if you're a veteran trader or have a bigger account. It's just that in those situations, you're better suited for the Ripper X or the ShopBot Legend series, or even the AutoTrade Pro or one of our networks. So this is basically an entry-level scalping bot. It's very good at what it does, but again, it's not designed to trade a dozen instruments at once with a custom chart trader. It's mainly designed to attack one instrument and give you the ability to run fully auto or have some discretion, and does a very good job of that. Okay, so the next segment we're going to talk about, we're going to show you some trade examples, show you what you can expect to make on average trades with several different instruments, and kind of go into depth on it, what you can expect from the bot once you turn it on and start using it. Okay, so I'm now going to cover basically, what you can expect when trading the bot, what's your typical swings, average profit per trade, based on typical bar sizes and instruments. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the NQ first, because this is obviously the most popular instrument for this bot. Okay, so what you're going to see here, these are the NQ 25 bars. So I'm going to show you like some high and low volatility periods, so you can get an idea of how this bot operates. So here's your typical swing periods here. So okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the range tools, so drawing tools, range value. This range value can be downloaded for free with the Ninja ecosystem. I don't think it comes default with the platform, but it's very useful for measuring how much money you made per each swing and how much time that took to occur. So, like for example, this was 8:05 local time today. So basically, you pull this up, you're going to see, okay, so about 2 minutes, made about $385 per contract. So, and again, if you're trading, that's per contract, right? And that's just on the runner. So if you're trading a 10 lot, that's close to $4,000 profit on a swing that took under 3 minutes. It just shows you the insane power of these bots. So again, this is a very fast moving bar size. Again, most of these swings on the open, the NQ is very volatile, very turbulent. If you want to slow the bot down a bit, you just run bigger bars, like for example, a 40 tick bar. So again, this trade here, similar, about $400 in less than 2.5 minutes, right? This is per contract. So if you're trading 10 lots, you're making 10 times that much money on that same exact swing. So again, pretty straightforward. These swings, these are your typical size swings, for the NQ. Typically, 20, basically about $200-300 per swing. A big swing can be about $500 on one contract, and typically it takes about 5 minutes or so for these to occur. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull up a stock now. Let's pull up Tesla. It's a very popular stock for the equity traders, and you can see, basically what this bot is doing on a stock like this. So we'll take our range measurement tool, and this is the session right now live. So this trade just occurred here about 45 minutes ago. So let's go ahead and pull this up. So drawing tools, range value. We have about $1.22 on that swing. So again, that's per share. So on 1,000 shares, about $1,200. Again, this took 6 minutes, 6-7 minutes, $1,200. Again, huge money, very fast, very effective. And then again, even these smaller swings, like you'll see here. So if the bot is just doing little small swings, typically target one is still going to get hit. So what you see here is target one's getting hit, right? And then it's the break even plus X stop is locking in. X takes a profit on entry 2. So even though these swings didn't amount to anything, it still hits target 1, still make sure you can't lose on the runner. It gets reverse stopped out, but you're still not taking an L on the runner because you already took the profit here and the bot was front loaded. So let's say, for example, you have 2,000 shares here, then you have 1,000 shares on the runner. So you already banked this profit, and simultaneously when that profit was taken, target one was hit, the profit was locked in behind it on entry two. So even though these are quick reversals here and nothing really materializes in terms of a big swing, it doesn't matter. You're still making money because you're taking the quick profit here and locking in X takes a profit, typically a few cents or whatever or per share on the runner. So it's still making money even in these relatively grindy periods. Then when it breaks out like right here, you hit a huge windfall. So you make big profits. Okay, let's pull up another chart. Let's do crude oil. Okay, so I've now got crude oil pulled up, settings optimized. Typically we use the 5-1 bars or the 8-2. The 5-1 are very active, especially on the open or the pit open. So again, this is one of my favorite settings to use for this instrument, and I'm going to show you basically just how lucrative this is. So we're going to go to the drawing tools. I'm going to pull up the range value tool. Just this typical swing right here. That little swing, about $740, took less than 5 minutes, a little over 4 minutes, over 77 bars. So basically, about 70 plus ticks you would have caught, capturing trading live. So again, one of the things I want to touch on here, and this is a really critical thing. Some people ask, well, why automate, right? You can make money trading by hand. Why do you need to automate? And that's true. You can make money trading by hand. I can do it. You can do any skilled disciplined trader can make money by hand. However, you're at a serious disadvantage in doing so. The core reasons are basically twofold. One, or actually three. So the number one reason is obviously slippage. If you try to enter this trade by hand, for example, let's go ahead and pull up the cursor. So if you were to enter this trade by hand, you're basically at 732.45, right? If you saw this trigger happen and you move your hand and click the buy button, buy market, you probably would have got filled, let's say, probably 10 seconds or so later. So you would have got filled up in here, right? And then when you saw the wrinkle bar reverse and you wanted to exit by hand, you would have got filled way later than the typical exit point, right? So if this had been a reversal, you probably would have got filled all the way down into here. So of this range, it was approximately $750. You probably would have actually only got 400 of that or so trading by hand, right? And that's assuming that you even caught this trade to begin with. Because if you happen to be away from the computer, you happen to be distracted, and you missed this Renko reversal, and you did not take this trade, you just missed out on, if a 10 lot, almost $7,500 in less than 5 minutes, right? This trade right here would have made your entire session. You'd probably be done for the day right there, most people. But again, if you had missed this trade, let's say you were trading gold, you were trading the ES or the NQ, and you're looking at that chart when this trigger occurred, you would have missed this trade. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that without automation, you're basically glued to maybe one or two charts. Most people can't trade by hand bar sizes this small because it moves too quickly, and they cannot, like for example, when target one was hit, it would have locked in profit here, and it moved the stop to break even plus X right there. So in this split second, if we're talking about 1-2 seconds, it already made on that little trade. Let's say you had 10, let's say 10 here and then 5 on the runner. You would have already made several $100s in about 2 seconds here, 2-3 seconds, and then it would have locked in one ticker X as a profit on the runner. So even if this trade were a reversal, you still would have got your cash here. Like this one, target one was hit, locks in the profit. Same thing with some of the other ones. Like if you're in a consolidation, it already made the money here on target one and locked in profit, so the runner can't lose. That's why you'll see this trade quickly reversed, but it didn't matter. You already banked the profit. It came back, tapped the break-even plus X stop, and you didn't lose on the runner, right? Because we don't know when we enter a trade, nobody knows how far it's going to go. Obviously, trades like this where there's resistance nearby, these are higher risk trades, whereas a trade like this where there's no resistance in sight, same thing here. Once it breaks this, you can't see any resistance anywhere on the chart. So this is likely to be a big move. Same with this one, which it was. And again, look at how much this one generated. So we'll go pull the drawing tool up again to the range value. This made 340 per contract on that. And then if you pull up the runner, or excuse me, the scalp target, so that one made about $80, $90, whatever. And that's the time though, 3 seconds, right? So if you were to actually enter this trade manually, you would have completely missed this first the part where it actually banked the profit and took the risk out of the trade with blocking in the profit on the runner, you would have missed that entire part of the swing if you were entering by hand, because you would have got filled somewhere over here when the trade's already banked the profit because the bot's much faster than you or I will ever be. We're not even close to the speed of the automation. So that's why it gives you a very unfair advantage. So basically, you have a situation where you're not going to miss trades. The bot will not miss trades. Will not make mistakes in terms of contracts entered or hitting the wrong buttons or any of the things you could easily do, and it will automatically lock in profits in 1, 2, 3 seconds, whatever. It's very, very, very quick, right? So, and you also can run this. This is oil we're trading. Let's say you want to trade the ES and then Q. You can trade all three of these things at the same time. And you can even manage risk and say if the account all those bots are linked to is up or down X, it will turn them all off at the same time. And that's what we typically do with the Ripper X Black Edition and the ShopBot Legend series and our Reaper and SB9000, some of our bot networks. So you can push this to far more advanced levels than you see here. But like I said before, this bot is very, very good. It's very effective for the newer traders and those with smaller accounts or those that want to have somewhat of some discretionary involvement. But again, this bot runs perfectly fine fully auto. All of these trades here from this session were taken in fully auto mode. So that about sums it up. So anyways, call your sales rep for pricing for the different versions and go ahead and get started. Thank you for watching.